This chapter introduces many of the fundamental concepts in economics and covers a wide variety of concepts. It begins with the definition of economics, then the economic perspective is discussed. After that, the discussion moves to the development of economic theory. The individuals and society's economizing problems are examined using budget line and production possibilities curves where economic growth is addressed. The last word deals with common mistakes students make when thinking about economics. If wants didn't exceed our productive capacity, everyone could have everything that they ever wanted and this class wouldn't exist. Since we can't get everything that we want, we have to make choices. The choices that we make are the best options available given the circumstances. Every choice that is made has an impact on the economy. Being in this class right now impacts the economy. The economic perspective is the way economists view the world. This includes considering scarcity of resources, the opportunity costs of economic decisions, and how consumers and businesses exhibit purposeful behavior in order to increase their utility. Often economists use marginal analysis, which is weighing the marginal benefits and the marginal costs of some activity in their work. If resources weren't scarce, we wouldn't have to make choices. Because we have to make choices, there is a cost to every choice, and that's called opportunity cost. This is where the phrase, "there's no such thing as a free lunch," comes from. What did you give up to be in this class? What would you be doing if you weren't in this class right now? It's important to note that everyone's opportunity cost will be different. Individuals and businesses make rational decisions that will make them better off, not worse off. With rational self-interest, the goal is to maximize utility or satisfaction. This does not mean that we're completely selfish or that we can't make wrong decisions. We can derive utility by helping others, and often when we make decisions, we don't have all of the information, so wrong decisions can be made. Firms are rational when they make choices about which products to produce in an attempt to maximize their profits. People make decisions with some desired outcome in mind. Every time we make a choice, we are weighing the marginal benefit and cost. We will choose to do something if the marginal benefit is greater than the marginal cost, because that is rational and will help to maximize utility. If a person says, "that's not worth it," then they're saying the marginal cost is greater than the marginal benefit. Based on the scientific method, economic principles and theories are created. Observing real-world behavior, formulating a possible explanation or hypothesis, testing this, and deciding to accept, reject, or modify the explanation. Continue to test the hypothesis against real-world facts. Economic principles are generalizations about economic behavior that are true for the average person. The other things equal assumption is the ceteris paribus assumption, which means that all variables other than those under consideration are held constant or is assumed to not change for a particular analysis. In economics, graphs are often used to illustrate the relationship between variables. In microeconomics, an individual consumer, household, or industry is examined. Examining the price of a particular product or demand or supply of a particular product's market is studied in microeconomics. In macroeconomics, the entire economy is examined. Macroeconomics also looks at the basic groups in the economy, such as all households, all businesses, all of the government or the foreign sector. All goods and services produced in the economy, or the unemployment rate for the entire labor force, or the inflation rate are all macroeconomics topics. Positive economics can be supported or disproved with data. There isn't any subjectivity. Normative economics is what ought to be. This is subjective since everybody has different opinions about what is desirable. The individual's economizing problem exists because of the combination of a limited income and unlimited wants. A budget line is used to illustrate the greatest combinations of two goods that can be purchased with a certain amount of income. It reflects the greatest amount of these two goods that can be purchased. A budget line is created for a specific level of income so that when income changes, the budget line will shift to show the higher or lower incomes. Any combination of goods inside the budget line can be purchased, but that combination of goods is not representative of the maximum that could be purchased. Since the blue budget line represents the maximum of goods that can be purchased, Any point outside or to the right of the budget line represents a combination whose price exceeds the available income and therefore can't be purchased. A budget line clearly illustrates how much of one good must be sacrificed to get more of another good, opportunity costs. If income increases, the budget line will shift to the right to show that now more books and DVDs can be purchased. If income falls, the budget line shifts to the left to show that fewer books and DVDs can be purchased. This global perspective shows how average incomes vary greatly among countries. If average incomes vary, so will the budget constraints for these nations. For the economy as a whole, the economizing problem exists because resources are scarce. Resources refers to inputs that are used in the production of other goods and services. Land refers to all natural resources. Labor is one of the human resources and refers to all physical and mental talents used in the production of a good or service. Capital refers to anything man-made and used to produce goods and services. Capital is an investment good. It is not the same as money. Money isn't even considered a resource. Entrepreneurs are another type of human resource, but is different from labor mainly because entrepreneurs are risk takers. Entrepreneurs are the driving force behind production and the agent that combines the other factors of production or inputs in a business venture. They risk their time, effort, ability, and money because not all ideas or new products will be profitable. The production possibilities model is an economic model that shows different combinations of goods and services that society can produce in a fully employed economy, assuming a fixed availability of supplies of resources and fixed technology. The production possibilities table shows the combinations of pizzas and robots that can be produced with the resources available. At point A, the economy can produce 10,000 robots by using all of the resources to produce those robots. At point B, the economy is able to produce 100,000 pizzas, but they have to give up some robots to get these pizzas. This is because some resources are reallocated to producing pizzas instead of robots. As the economy continues to move towards point E, the number of pizzas increases while the number of robots decreases, illustrating that the opportunity cost of more pizzas is fewer robots. Producing anywhere along the blue PPC line means that the economy is producing the maximum amount of pizzas and robots, and this implies that the economy is efficient. The economy can produce at any point inside the PPC, but doing so means that the economy is inefficient. This means that the economy has idle resources and/or resources are not being used to their capacity. When inside the PPC, it is possible to get more of both goods by utilizing idle resources or using resources to their capacity. Just like with the budget line, any point to the right of the PPC represents a combination of robots and pizzas that is impossible to create with the current resources. The PPC is concave because of the increasing opportunity costs. If the opportunity costs were constant, the PPC would be a straight line. When the economy is efficient and operating on the PPC, the only way to get more of one good is to give up some of the other, because all resources are already being utilized. There's no way to allocate the resources differently without giving up some of another good. The economy decides how much pizza to produce, similarly to how a person makes their decisions. The economy must compare the marginal benefit to the marginal cost of producing pizza. The optimal amount of pizza is where the marginal benefit is equal to the marginal cost of producing another unit of pizza. An increase in the supplies of resources, improvements in resource quality, and/or technological advance move the production possibilities curve outward and to the right, allowing the economy to have larger quantities of both types of goods. Graphically, economic growth is shown as a shift to the right of the PPC. Shifting the PPC to the right shows that more robots and pizzas can now be produced at every point on the PPC. Points that used to be unattainable are now attainable. This means that the economy can now have a higher standard of living. Where the economy chooses to produce on the PPC today largely determines the amount of economic growth that they will experience in the future. Goods for the future include goods like capital, education, and research and development. When we produce those kinds of goods today, they don't do anything to satisfy needs and wants today, but they will help to better satisfy future wants and needs by enabling the economy to produce a greater amount of present goods in the future. Present goods are goods that satisfy needs today and do nothing for us in the future. Most of the goods that we buy are present goods. International trade enables countries to specialize in the production of goods which they produce more efficiently than other countries. With international trade, resources are allocated more efficiently, and it is essentially the equivalent of an increase in resources. Now a country can not only use its own resources, but it can also take advantage of foreign resources through trade. This leads to a rightward shift of the production possibilities curve. It's often difficult to put aside biases, but it is important to put aside your preconceived notions about things for an objective evaluation of the economy. The news often uses loaded terminology to catch the audience's interest, but we have to be careful of the exaggerations that this often implies. Fallacy of composition often occurs when we assume that what benefits one person will also benefit others. When there's a traffic jam on the highway, it will benefit me to take the back roads if I'm the only one who does that. If everyone gets off of the highway and tries to take the back roads, then the back roads will become very congested, and it could actually take longer. It is important to not draw conclusions about cause and effect relationships. Superstitions are great examples of the post hoc fallacy. Often events are related or correlated, but it doesn't mean that one actually caused the other.